right? There he is. He's admitting he took the documents at issue. We know that, but look at this. Trump is gaining support in the GOP primary across 2 indictments so far. That is the political dynamic at this point, as the legal accountability, though, barrels forward. Joining me now is Ruth Ben-Ghiat, history professor at NYU and the author of Strongmen, Mussolini to the Present. Ruth, I got to get your reaction to Trump saying, I'm running no matter what, indictments and convictions be damned.
Well, yeah, it's completely normal for authoritarians to run for office with legal troubles. I mean, think about it. He has invested years building himself up as the savior of the nation, also the victim, but the defender of the nation. I alone can fix it. And, you know, what choice does he have? He can't just drop out because he is a cult leader. And he's invested also many years having this very special bond of loyalty with his followers. If he steps away, he becomes irrelevant, he disappoints them. The real reason is, though, that the point of his candidacy is to get back into the White House and be able to shut down anything that threatens him. And this is our turn in America. But, you know, other countries have gone through this. Berlusconi ran for office in Italy 3 times under investigation. Putin initially was under investigation. In Israel, there's a big drama now. Netanyahu's been indicted for bribery and other charges. And he got back into power, and they always become more extreme when they come back if they have like a hurry to vindicate themselves. And now he's trying to control the judicial system. And this is why Trump, has an army of operatives now working. There was that New York Times story. They're working to kind of have a whole plan when he comes in to purge the civil service and take control of, as they'd like to, the judiciary, the FBI, anything that threatens him, because authoritarians need to feel safe. And the purpose of government for them is to be able to commit crimes with impunity.
Ruth, there's a parade of Republican lawmakers continuing to show support, regardless of what they see in terms of facts and evidence. You know, I don't want to be too jaded here, but are they just creating a new norm in terms of criminal prosecutions? Maybe because they are fearing maybe in the future they could be looking down the barrel of something similar and they want to be able to get the same treatment? Or is this just them, kneeling at the altar and praying at the altar of the cult of Donald Trump?
It's both, because the competent authoritarian like Trump, he knows how to make others complicit. And that's what he did with all of his crimes. He required loyalty, not expertise. That's what, so he transformed the GOP into an autocratic party that has these dynamics of fealty to the cult leader. And January 6th was a demonstration of loyalty to the cult leader. He was in distress. He summoned them and all of the GOP politicians who conspired in this. So they're all complicit now. And some of them are true believers in his mission, maybe Lindsey Graham. But others are tied to him now because they see their own destinies as yoked to his destiny. If he goes down, they go down. What they don't understand is that somebody like Trump will throw them under the bus without a second thought.
Yeah, I think you said a competent authoritarian. Ruth, it must be a Friday because you're being very generous when you're talking about Donald Trump to call him competent. Ruth Ben-Ghiat, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.